Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. So I have an interesting video for you, and it's about some of the dangers of KYC. And I'm sure you're aware, if you're in the cryptocurrency world, that a big part of the culture of the crypto world is to retain anonymity. And there's this kind of anathema towards providing KYC. And if there's an exchange that wasn't providing KYC and then suddenly they start asking for KYC, everyone will kind of turn against that exchange. It's usually the thing that people hate the most in the crypto world. And I want to give a few reasons why that is, coming from a few different perspectives. But first I want to quickly explain why KYC can be helpful. And coming from the perspective of someone that is a peer-to-peer trader, there are some instances where I need to ask KYC from a customer. The reason is that the main reason why KYC should be asked for is that many payment methods, right? A payment method might be TransferWise, Revolut, PayPal, bank transfer, whatever. There's many different payment methods that are considered reversible transactions, right? Now, cryptocurrency, on the other hand, is a non-reversible transaction. It's something that makes it so valuable. When you send funds, doesn't matter if you send it intentionally or accidentally or whether you were scammed, once you send it, it's gone for good. You will never get it back, right? On the other hand, there are a number of other payment methods. We'll just say bank transfer trades. If you were to send a bank transfer to someone, you could very easily call them up and say that was a mistake. You could say you were scammed. You could say you were high on peyote and you just started mashing buttons on your keyboard. No matter what excuse you give to the bank, they will always side with you and they're going to help you reverse that transaction. And this is a very easy way of getting scammed. So if you're selling Bitcoin, let's just say on a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchange, someone could send you funds, you send them the Bitcoin, and then a day later or a week later, they call their bank and say, I didn't mean to send those funds, and those funds will be deducted for your bank account. Even if you had $0 in that bank account, you'll now have negative balance, right? So the way to avoid this is to have leverage on the customer by asking for KYC, and KYC might come in the form of them taking a picture of them holding their ID next to their face, or it might be them holding their ID next to their face and a little written note saying, I promise not to do a reverse chargeback on XYZ person, right? So this is one reason why KYC can be very necessary. But the overall problem with giving KYC is, I'm going to split up into two things, right? The first reason that it's dangerous is that if you provide KYC to let's just say to a peer-to-peer seller, just an individual, a person you never met before on a peer-to-peer exchange, or you were providing it to a centralized exchange, like a Binance, right? Or maybe it's not even a crypto-related thing. It could just be a third-party traveling website, right? Or it could just be any website. It could even be a government institution, right? If any of those parties that you send those funds, that information to, if any of them, anyone within the organization was a malevolent actor, or that institution or person was hacked, anyone with that information who has a picture of your passport alone, even that alone, can fetch a pretty decent price on the dark web, right? So there are tens of thousands of people on various variations of Silk Road on the dark web right now that are buying and selling basically just pictures of people's passports and identity online, and it's a very, very lucrative trade. I can't say exactly how much it's selling for. I don't know what the going rate is because I don't go on there. All I know is it's valuable enough for people to basically make it their full-time job, just thinking of ways to hack, scam, or just maybe get data, like free information from people, you know, where they can get that specific information, because then they can take it, they can sell it to other people who know how to, we'll just say, add value to it. They might use it to sign up to a bank, they might use it to sign up to different services, they might use, you know, your identity to start a loan, and they'll take money out that way. They might use you to do all kinds of various things. I can't think of all of them at the same time, but yeah, one of them is just using various, getting you to sign up to banks, trying to get you to sign up to loans. There's innumerable amount of things you can do, right? There's a lot of people who spend all day thinking about how to turn your fake identity, how to turn this stolen identity into money. And it's lucrative enough that there's a real incentive to hack institutions or to try to trick people into sending the passport, right? This is a big reason why I think it's dangerous to provide this kind of information to anywhere online. Ideally, if you can, avoid having any of this information stored in your computer. Like if you have a picture of your passport, of a driver's license, you should delete it, because if your computer ever gets hacked, then it's going to be sold somewhere, right? That's got real monetary value to it, right? So, and if you're sending it to a place where, like we'll just say like a cryptocurrency exchange, or just any place where there's a large like quantity of data stored in one place, like on a cloud server, then there's almost more, and like I think it's very unlikely that one person's going to target your computer, because it's just one computer, right? They're going to spend all this time so they can steal your picture of your ID, and who knows, maybe that's worth like $50, right? But if there's like a treasure trove, a gold mine somewhere out there, like it's some doctor's office somewhere, right? And it's got the identification and the medical records of like 100 or a couple of hundred patients, it might be a very easy score for them, and you can make a bunch of money off that, right? So that's the incentive of why people would even bother trying to get that information, and why it's dangerous to give it. This is a more clear reason. The second reason is a little more conspiratorial, and it's up to you to decide how far you want to go along with this theory of mine, right? But it's my belief that let's kind of let's kind of create a context here, right? So the fiat system is a monopoly that has to be enforced essentially by the barrel of a gun or a number of fiat laws. People are forced to use the the US dollar at the threat of violence, and it's because of that, anyone that goes against this system, they get invaded, things happen to them. If someone wanted to create an alternative currency, probably bad things would happen to them. And cryptocurrency is one of those things that I think we take it for granted in this day and age, because it's received so much mainstream adoption. But at every step of the way since its inception, it's constantly been attacked, it's been ridiculed. Banks constantly try and distance themselves from cryptocurrency, and it's only because of the sheer volume of demand that mainstream institutions have been acquiescing to the demands of their customers and slowly allowing bit by bit, crypto to enter into the sphere of the mainstream. However, in my opinion, I think as things become more tyrannical in this day and age, I don't know if this trend is going to continue. It may, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. I think if there was if there was like a banking collapse and everyone were to pull out their money into crypto exchanges so people could buy cryptocurrency and essentially save themselves financially, in my opinion, I think banks would be under the pest of the government, most likely, would be very willing to crack down on that. They would shut down crypto exchanges. They're very likely to maybe create laws that would make cryptocurrency purchases like much harder, right? So I think there's a real incentive for large institutions, banks, governments to be directly ideologically misaligned with the values of cryptocurrency. I think, okay, that's just the baseline context of that. As a result, I think it's right to assume that probably at some stage, and increasingly so, they're going to start cracking down on cryptocurrency, right? And I can just name a few examples off the top of my head, just based on personal experience and things that I've seen. So I used to be a crypto trader in Australia, like trading, selling P2P or whatever. I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it for a long time because it's very dangerous now, right? If you were to sell P2P, I won't talk about myself, but I'll talk about someone that I know. I'm not going to give too much details about this person, but this person was one of the biggest peer-to-peer traders in Australia, regularly selling Bitcoin since like 2013 via bank transfer, like all these different methods. This person paid their tax. There was no problem with it. However, I think since like 2020 onwards, there was just a sudden crackdown on this kind of trading activity. And this person got debanked. Actually, the debanking's been going on for a while. And I know this channel's about debanking, but I'm talking like forced debanked. Like I'm talking like you've got a bank account for like, since you were a kid, and suddenly you get an email from the bank saying like you have 30 days to move your funds or you'll lose it, right? And you can't bank with us anymore. So this happened one time, then twice, 3 times, 4 times with this person. And it came to the point where this person was completely blacklisted. This person can never own a bank account for the rest of their life from every single bank in Australia. This person now has to live entirely in cash, and they have to live like a drug dealer. And in the various suits that came forth out of this, the defense from the bank was from the various banks, or that whoever was representing them, they basically implied that this person was involved in money laundering, financing terrorism, all these ridiculous things that you couldn't possibly believe would be happening in a civilized Western democracy. They completely ruined this person's life, and ultimately, at the end of the day, like if you're a small trader, dealing in cryptocurrency, they really would like to squash you. Now, this might not have happened earlier on, but increasingly in this day and age, as someone that's kind of gone into this industry, it's becoming increasingly harder and harder to get your foot into the door. Now, that doesn't mean there's going to be less crypto companies and startups, because there are jurisdictions in the world that are friendly to this, and that's going to be where you're going to see a lot more of the crypto adoption happening. And there is still going to be plenty of innovation, but especially of the major countries in the world, they are becoming increasingly strict about crypto startups, innovation, and I think eventually just people buying and selling cryptocurrency, right? I think it's very clear to everyone, this is not even really conspiratorial, but there's a move against cash, right? I can't think of all the reasons off the top of my head. I think everyone knows it. You can fill in the blanks, but basically, if everyone has to buy things with their debit card, with banks, whatever, and you can't use cash, that removes the anonymity layer. So everything that you purchase is going to be tracked and traced. The government will know exactly how much money you should be taxed on. They'll know if you're being naughty and you're purchasing things that shouldn't be purchased. And our life moves through money and what we buy and sell. So you can easily be put into a database evaluating you based on your purchasing habits. It's extremely tyrannical. It's absolutely absurd. This is the day and age that we live in, and this is the reason why debanking is extremely important. But unlike the other debanking, like doing it proactively as opposed to someone doing it to you, right? So how this relates to KYC is that if you sign up to just any cryptocurrency exchange, and you provide KYC, right, to particularly the major centralized traditional cryptocurrency exchanges, Binance, not so much Bybit, OKX, but Coinbase, whatever, right? When you provide your KYC to that exchange, the KYC is actually it's kind of like the deal with the devil that the crypto exchange has done with the given government of your particular country, right? So in your country, there's going to be a number of crypto companies and exchanges that are essentially banned because they won't comply with their anti-money laundering and KYC laws, right? But of the ones that are allowed to operate in your country, and again, I can't speak in too much generalities because there are some countries that are a little more laissez-faire about this thing than others. But if you're again, I can use my country as an example again. If you're from Australia, like Binance can only operate in Australia because they have agreed to abide by a number of anti-money laundering and KYC laws. So if you were to send money from your bank account to that exchange, it would have to come with the pretext that you provided that you've provided to the exchange KYC as a prerequisite for purchasing cryptocurrency, ultimately removing that layer of anonymity that would actually allow you to it pretty much removes like one of the most important utilities of cryptocurrency, right? Now, as far as I know, each each of these cryptocurrencies like Binance, I'm pretty sure they have like some API that just downloads all of your transactions, or every transactions, whether it's crypto to crypto, peer-to-peer trading, spot trading, derivatives trading, everything. And if requested by some bureaucrat in your country's three-letter agency, if requested, the agreement that they've signed with that government is that if they request that information from anybody, they can get it. I don't think that information is automatically being fed to like the whatever three-letter agencies, but bare minimum, if they request that information, they can get it. So ultimately, you don't really have any anonymity. If you purchase cryptocurrency through an exchange, the anonymity layer is ruined. Your government will know exactly who is purchasing cryptocurrency and who isn't. And this is going to be like a way of, I think, identifying like where the black hole of money is. Like, you know, we've got all the good citizens over here who aren't using cash. They're using like this cashless system, this mark of the beast system here, where everything is tracked and controlled. And then you've got these people here where they're doing their own thing, right? They're purchasing cryptocurrency, and you're going to be singled out. You're probably going to be on some database somewhere where they know who you are, they know how much cryptocurrency you're buying, and there's all different kinds of things they can do. Like one thing I mentioned in a previous video is that if they know that you've got large amounts of cryptocurrency, there's a pretty good chance that you've got more hidden away somewhere. So even if you decide that you're going to, well, rightfully so, you're going to pay tax, they can then say, you know what, you owe us $1 million. And then you're going to say, no, I don't. And they say, yes, you do. And then you say, no, here, like, you then have to like record all the crypto transactions you have, look at all your wallets and prove that you don't have more cryptocurrency than you say you do. And ultimately, you're probably going to have to pay. It's like, fine, I don't owe you $1 million, but, you know, I owe you $500,000, right? And they're going to get you like that. And this isn't about you trying to avoid tax. It's about the fact that they're going to use this to get in your, they're really going to use it as a way of just knowing everything about you, everything about your transactions, everything that you do. And it's completely removing the point of cryptocurrency, the utility of cryptocurrency in the first place, right? So this is why KYC is bad. If you are dealing on an exchange that doesn't have KYC as a prerequisite, then there's absolutely no way that the exchange that you're dealing with is going to have no way of knowing who you are. So it doesn't matter if your government or whoever coerces that cryptocurrency exchange to give the information of all their customers. The thing is, they don't have that information, so there's nothing for them to be coerced with, because there's no information that actually can provide to anybody. So as a result, your purchasing and selling of cryptocurrency, all that data is being safeguarded because you haven't provided that really sensitive information to the crypto exchange, and that can't be taken by governments or whatever, who are eventually going to use that information against you, or they're going to put you in a database. There's all kinds of really ugly things that can happen. And I want to end this on a final note based on some more personal experiences. So one thing that many people are very interested to learn is that cryptocurrency is not actually banned in China. So crypto was never banned in China. I know because I, roughly speaking, do this for a living. And people have thought that crypto was banned in China, but it's like a number of little laws, like, you know, ICOs are banned. You can't mine Bitcoin in China. There's no CNY, that's the Chinese yuan. There's no CNY Bitcoin trading pairs on the spot on any crypto exchange, and none of the crypto exchanges are allowed to actually operate in China. However, owning cryptocurrency, that's completely fine. And despite the fact that it's supposedly banned, there is so much trading activity on these exchanges. In fact, like, I'm pretty sure like China has like bare minimum the second largest trading volume in the entire world. And you might think, like, why, if China's so despotic and they're so obsessed with learning about every bit of information they can from all the citizens, why haven't they gone ahead and actually banned cryptocurrency? And the part is, the really ironic thing is they don't have to, because in China, you can have cryptocurrency, but it's not anonymous, because you still have to go to these centralized exchanges, and you have to provide KYC. And on top of that, the banks themselves, they also receive KYC from their customers. And if the government really wants to know who's buying and selling cryptocurrency, which they probably do, they have that information at hand. So the anonymity layer of cryptocurrency in China is much less, unless you're using some kind of like KYC-less peer-to-peer transfer method, which actually is, funnily enough, what a lot of people do. But there are like ways of the big ways of purchasing cryptocurrency in China. It's still via like a KYC method, and as a result, the government is less scared about people buying cryptocurrency, because it's much more transparent, unfortunately, and as a result, that they're scared less of it. So that, to me, in the future is quite a possibility. Cryptocurrency will still be allowed, but it would have become so muted because everyone's provided all their information essentially to the government, that at the end of the day, they'll still know everything that people have done with cryptocurrency. They'll know who owns cryptocurrency, they'll know when it was purchased, they'll know when it was sold, they'll know what you purchased it for, and as a result, the anonymity is just being dissolved, and as a result, it's almost not even worth going after and punishing crypto. So it's not worth going after and censoring crypto, right? Because it's already almost as perhaps, how can I say, it's almost as transparent as normal bank transfers, right? So so this is why KYC is not a good thing. And as I mentioned about China, like the silver lining to this is that even if China did ban cryptocurrency, right, this is a really good lesson to learn. Most of the volume, as far as I'm aware, is done through the OTC markets. OTC, I guess you could say, it's another way of saying peer-to-peer trading. And the thing is, with peer-to-peer trading, if you're dealing with someone directly, you don't necessarily have to provide KYC to the other person. You just deal directly with each other. There aren't really any third parties, and it's not really obvious why one person is sending another person money, because that happens millions of times a day. Anyone can send money to anybody. It's not clear why. You just do it, and provided that there's no third party in the middle taking that information, that the reason for that money being sent will always remain invisible. So one person sends money to another person, the other person sends Bitcoin or whatever, and provided that there's no third party, tracking and tracing everything, then it's like a tree falling in the forest, so to speak. And fortunately, in China, people are very savvy, and a lot of the trades do happen via peer-to-peer. And if you can find a cryptocurrency exchange that doesn't require KYC, and you can find a seller that doesn't require KYC, then it doesn't matter how much censorship there is in the world. It doesn't matter how intent the government or whatever three-letter agency or whoever's coming after you. It doesn't matter how hard they try. They're not going to have. They're not going to be able to get that information from you, because you're dealing directly with another person via peer-to-peer trading. And this is something that my whole channel is about, and I suggest you subscribe. You can learn more about it. And if you're interested in doing peer-to-peer trading, if you want to get involved in non-KYC peer-to-peer trading, I give two main recommendations. One is called Local CoinSwap, and the other is called HODL. These are what you call non-custodial trading platforms. That means that your funds aren't actually directly controlled by the exchange itself, and on top of that, there's no KYC, so they're not going to be asking KYC to sign up with the exchange. So if you're interested in signing up to non-KYC, non-custodial peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchanges, you can use my referral links in the description down below, and you can get started with that. And there's a bit of a learning curve, but if you get used to it, I think it can be really valuable in your crypto journey. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.